Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide, and in this video I'm going to talk about CIG's big ship problem, and that is that they have a big problem with big ships. It is their big ship problem, and if it seems like I'm a bit behind the curve on this, with most other content creators on their reaction video to someone's reaction video to somebody's video, it is because when starting this channel, one of the defining characteristics that I wanted to give it was that I wouldn't complain about problems without suggesting solutions. And doing a good job at offering a solution isn't easy or quick. You have to first evaluate whether there really is a problem, then what is the character of the problem, then what is the cause of the problem, and then what is the environment that the solution has to work in. And then you have a chance of coming up with an actually workable suggestion. So, is there really a problem here? Well, let's take all of CIG's announced ships, excluding the ground vehicles, and quite arbitrarily, I'll divide them up into three rough categories: 1 to 50 meters in length, 50 to 100 meters in length, and over 100 meters in length. In the under 50 meters category, CIG has announced 96 ship models and delivered 86, or 89.58%. In the 50 to 100 meters category, CIG has announced 17 ships and delivered 13, or 76.47%. In the 100 meters and longer category, CIG has announced 25 ships and delivered 7, or 28%. And the last ship over 100 meters in length to be released was the Carrack in 3.8 in December of 2019, almost 3 years ago now. And giving credit that CIG may be holding back some of the big ship to be surprises in Squadron 42, the percentage is still very low. And as a concession, that would carry more weight if we actually had an idea of when Squadron 42 would be here with those ships. So yes, it isn't just a gut reaction to the Vanu mergement being put on hold again. CIG has a large backlog in ships over 100 meters and slow progress in reducing that backlog. But then, what is the harm? Players who purchase those ships have loaners, often very nice loaners, and the game really isn't missing anything much from the lacking there being in the game. If anything, it is being harmed by the lack of the gameplay as the lack of the ship itself. But the ships are missing. It used to be that some would say, what's the point of a very large ship if the servers can only handle 50 players? But we now have servers that can handle 100 players or more, and we've even had players put nearly the full 100 on a single large ship, and, well, it still worked. And some would say there would be harm in having a ship without the gameplay behind it, but not all of these large ship concepts are missing gameplay, and players are loving their Mercury Star Runners even though it has no data running yet. So what if the Vanu Merchantman is just being used as a big Herc? My Herc is just a big Herc too, and I like it. And the BMM wouldn't just be a big Herc, it would be a super cool alien Herc, would it not? No, it seems like the real harm here is a reputational harm. Can CIG deliver on its promises in a reasonable time? And I've seen a kind of cloud of doubt regarding the Galaxy announcement of whether we will ever see it. And I've seen that cloud with prior announcements, but this year it is bigger and darker than before. And it is a reputational question that also comes from and affect other similar doubts. Will Squadron 42 ever get released? When will we ever see Pyro? The whole enchilada. But I don't want to get into all those other doubts in this video. I just want to talk about big ships, but realize that the delivery doubts about big ships do not start or stay with the ships. And full disclosure, I have my own personal angle on this. I've used the excitement about large ships as a giveaway to build audience for this channel. And I picked ships that I thought wouldn't be forever away, the Liberator and the Odyssey, because they were being marketed specifically as ships for a place like Pyro. Pretty blatantly, in fact.
For a little sabbatical someplace, I don't know, like the Pyro system.
Have to buy ships for the next one. But if large ships, as an entire category, are no longer seen as exciting but frustrating, that diminishes their value as prizes, does it not? It diminishes also their value as a feel-good item, which is the main reason why people buy them. So CIG really does need to get concerned if the whale bait starts tasting bitter to the whales. So as I said, in a deliberately over-the-top way, in my tongue-in-cheek saltiest video ever, people don't give a crap about excuses. They only care about results. But one-off results, such as if they did produce the merchantman and still leave us thinking, is it going to be another 3 years to the next large ship, isn't going to restore confidence, because 18 unreleased large ships at 3 years each is still over a half century. Restoring confidence means showing that there are both changes in how things are being done and that they are producing results. So let's talk about the ship process. If you follow the development with content like Inside Star Citizen, you know that ships go through phases. There is a conceptual design phase, then there is a white box phase, then there is a gray box phase, and then the final art phase. Now, obviously, different things are done in each phase, but that also means that different talents and different people with those talents are needed. In the white box phase, it is the ability to make tight and efficient 3D models. In gray box, people who are good with rigging and animation are the main demand. Then in final art, no new geometry should be being modeled, but you need people skilled at UV unfolding, art, surfacing, lighting, etc., which is what was principally misunderstood about the statement that a large ship would take the UK ship team an entire year. It was that the process would take a year, not that every person would be working on it for the entire year, because their skills would only be needed for part of the project and thus part of the year. And I think that what was going on reading between the lines of the description of what happened about the merchantman is this. It was time to assemble a large team of people needed for the final art stage, the unfolders, surfacing, lighting, etc. But since the last time such a large ship went through the final art stage, remember the Carrack was almost 3 years ago, those folks have been dispersed to a number of other projects, all at different stages with different completion dates, making reassembling them a highly difficult thing to do. And that is what, with the usual process, is going to happen time and again every time it is needed to put a large ship through a new stage of development. So that is where my suggestion for change starts. It starts with the creation of the Very Large Ship Team, the VLST. As in the ships are very large, although, well, the team will likely be large too. And the VLST team is divided into 4 sub-teams: VLST Design, VLST White Box, VLST Gray Box, and VLST Final Art. And each one of those 4 sub-teams are staffed and resourced with the plans to complete their phase of a large ship in 6 months. And the point is that when the VLST Final Art team finishes a ship, they aren't dispersed to other projects, but simply pick up the next ship in the queue left for them by the VLST Gray Box team. And in turn, the VLST Gray Box team finishes their phase on a ship. They aren't dispersed, but pick up the next project left for them by the VLST White Box team, who is fed by the VLST Concept team. The point is that the stumbling block of needing to assemble talent for a team to take on a large ship through the next phase of development does not trip up a project because the team is never dispersed. The roadmap would constantly have 4 large ships in development and would be structured to produce 2 large ships per year, which, considering the size of the backlog, is pretty much the minimum that would be needed to restore the reputation of CIG being able to deliver on its promises in this area. Now, would the VLST pull so many resources that there would be fewer new small and medium ships each year? Well, likely yes, but honestly, I'm not seeing that many gaps in the small to medium ship space. Mostly it's doing another of an already done ship, but with a different manufacturer or a small twist. And compared to the need to bolster CIG's credibility in delivering on its large ship promises, having one more manufacturer's version of the Constellation doesn't really stand out. So that's what I think CIG should do as the big ship solution to their big ship problem. And now a recap of our giveaways. We're having the ship piloting contest for the most impressive landing of a ship Hercules size or larger. Information is in the video in the description. And this is officially the first qualifying video for next year's Grow the Channel ship giveaway. Although I haven't completely worked out the prizes and rules, members will definitely be entered automatically, and everybody else will need to subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is what VLST stands for. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond for Ray's Guide.